Hi, everyone. Today's topic is for the nursing students who struggle with IV calculations. And what we're going to talk about in this segment is milliliters an hour. And I want to explain something to you. When it asks you how many milliliters an hour, it's usually talking about the patient has an IV pump and the nurse has hung IV fluids or medicine above that pump, and that liquid is going to infuse through that pump into the patient. And when it says milliliters an hour, it means how many milliliters in this bag up here is going to leave that bag and go into that patient every hour. How many milliliters an hour will go into the patient through the pump. And if you do a dosage calculation and you come up with 100 milliliters an hour, like that says, that means you have the fluid hanging up here and you went in here and you programmed the pump to deliver 100 milliliters of liquid from that bag every hour into the patient. And it really is very simple, and let's see how to do it. The formula is very basic. How many milliliters an hour? Well, how many milliliters to infuse? That's the first thing. That's your top number. How much liquid do you have in milliliters divided by how many hours to infuse the liquid over. So how many milliliters of liquid do you have and how many hours is it going to infuse over? And it looks something like this. How many milliliters divided by how many hours? Milliliters over hours. Okay, now here's our first real math question. How many milliliters an hour? The doctor is ordered to give 500 milliliters of normal saline over 2 hours. How many milliliters an hour will the nurse infuse? And it's really simple. I have 500 milliliters and it's going to go in over 2 hours. So it looks like 500 milliliters divided by 2 hours, and you will get 250 milliliters an hour. Okay, the next question says 1 liter of normal saline over 8 hours. How many milliliters an hour will the nurse infuse? Now, this is a little bit different because I need to know how many milliliters you have, because this is milliliters an hour, and that's what the question is asking me. So I know that 1 liter is the same thing as 1,000 milliliters. That's the number I need, is 1,000, because that's the milliliters. 1,000 milliliters is my top number, and it's going to go in over 8 hours. So 8 hours is the bottom number, and I do have milliliters an hour now in my math problem. And 1,000 milliliters divided by 8 hours is 125 milliliters an hour. This next question freaks nursing students out, probably all around the world, across the nation, whatever. Look at this big thing here, but it is asking me milliliters an hour, and I want to break down this order for you so you understand it. Many probably don't. Cefazolin, 1 gram, IV every 8 hours. Now let's understand that. That means the doctor wants the patient to get cefazolin, which is an antibiotic. He wants them to get 1 gram. He wants it to get it IV, and he wants them to have it every 8 hours, which means 3 times a day, spaced 8 hours apart. So when you walk in there with that bag of cefazolin, 1 gram, to give it IV, you're going to walk in there and hang it 3 different times a day, spaced 8 hours apart. That's all that means. Now, when you walk in with it, the medicine is in a 50 milliliter bag of liquid called normal saline. I need to know that liquid because the medicine's in the liquid, and the liquid's going to drip in, and it's going to infuse over 1 hour. How many milliliters an hour? Well, there's your 2 numbers. I've got 50 milliliters, and I've got 1 hour. And the answer is 50 milliliters an hour, 50 divided by 100. And you know what you don't need here? You don't need to know the medicine. You don't need to know how many grams it is. You don't need to know how often you're going to walk in the room. You don't even need to know what it's in, normal saline, but you do need to know how much liquid you have and how many hours it's going to go in over. 50 milliliters divided by 1 hour is 50 milliliters an hour. And our last question looks kind of similar to the other one. I'm still asking how many milliliters an hour, so I'm running it through an IV pump. I still have the same medicine. It's cefazolin. I still have 1 gram of it. I'm going to hang it IV, and I'm going to walk in your room 3 times a day, spaced 8 hours apart. I'm carrying the medicine in. That's what that means. When I carry that medicine in, that medicine is in 50 milliliters of liquid. Happens to be normal saline. Okay? And I've got to infuse that over 30 minutes. How many milliliters an hour? Well, I know my top number is 50. 50 milliliters is what I have in my liquid, but it's going to go in over 30 minutes. 30 minutes is the same thing as 0.5 hours. So that's my bottom number, 0.5 hours. And I have 50 milliliters going in over a half an hour. And the answer is 50 divided by 0.5 is 100 milliliters an hour. And that's how nurses set IV pumps every day that they work. Thank you very much.